Alright, third time, whatever. Third time's a charm. We're doing it again, but this time, we're doing no duplicates. Strictly new people. If anyone who's popped up has already been on, or whatever, I'm not putting them in. Even though we've had some really cool people pop up on the wheel, we are gonna exclude them. Wow! Alright, I'm vetoing one of... No, I'm kidding. Pokimane will be on the bench. I'm so sorry, Miss Iman. It is what it is. Fur will also be on the bench. Sleepy is a new pick for this draft. A new person. Spoke is here is also a new pick for this draft. Oh my god, we're getting a fantastic roster. I think Gucky is a new pick for the draft too. I'm trying to do this off of memory, so there's a chance I'm going to accidentally let one slip through the cracks, and that's fine. Speed Silver is also new for this draft. For anyone who somehow maybe missed it, we're going to select 50 random streamers from this list, and we're going to turn that list of 50 streamers into a set of 10 teams of 4. I need Pyro Scythe. Coldy was on the list already. Cherryfire is new. Yeah, I'm gonna make MCC teams out of the randomly selected squad of streamers, which means that indeed 10 people will end up getting benched. Megalodon had already been on. I don't think Spiff had been on, and Haka has also not been on yet. Capitan Gato has. Legundo has not. So yeah, this list consists of a combination of MCC Block Wars, MCC Block Wars Spreen. Oh, that's a really hard one. Okay. Combination of MCC Block Wars and non-Block Wars or events, or non-Minecraft people even. Robo Ross. Yeah, Spreen is going to be an absolute nightmare to work with because what I've also done is I've tried to include the most popular people who, are selected and not just skimp out. But Spreen is a Spanish really big streamer, and I need the people to put him with. He can be on an English team, but considering who is on my list of duplicates, I don't know if I can make a team for him work. So, yeah, we'll see if we can cook something up. Pete is on the dupe list, but Fruit Berries is not. I also have yet to pull myself on here, which is quite interesting. Jaden, unfortunately, is a duplicate as well. Ranboo, yeah! Interesting. I don't really know what I'm going to do with Ranboo. They don't really do anything Minecraft related anymore. Skeppy, okay, this is going to be a list of all time. Cutie Cinderella, who I don't know if she likes Minecraft, but that is an interesting pull as well. Jack Black is a duplicate. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about putting Jack Black in the roster. That is would have been quite difficult. Doug is a duplicate again. He was a duplicate last time. Lachlan is also a dupe. I almost grabbed Mr. Crank Gameplays or Ethan Nesters. Skeppy we already have. Sens, who is kind of maybe a bit more obscure part of this list, assuming he's even on here still. Is he on here? Nope. Nope, Sens is not on this list. Okay. But Lee is. Schrodinger Lee is. Rubber Ross duplicate. Squeaks! Oh, I love Squeaks. Squeaks is awesome. I would love to have Squeaks in a Block Wars at some point. That'd be cool. Kyle Ev. We love Kyle Ev. Kyle Ev. Guy Rocky as well. Kind of a, what would you call it? A chameleon, I guess, in a sense. Not chameleon. Kind of like an everything's man, everyone's man. Feels like not really like part of any particular part of Minecraft, but with an MCC is, still a prominent figure. So, hey, I got me! Yippee, yippee, yippee. This makes things easier, probably. Any Block Wars player can go with me. Doki also is a very fun one to pull here. Yeah. Etho! Oh god, what the hell? Yeah, this is gonna be something. Contail VA as well, yep, that's great. Etho duplicate. this is going to be an experience. Saikuno. I actually mentioned Saikuno in the last draft, saying that in terms of making a realistic MCC team, he would have been required. Ludwig, he would have been nice to have as well in the previous drafts. Ludwig is like me in terms of connections, but infinitely more popular. So he knows a lot more people, is essentially what I'm trying to say. But, like, I know a lot of people, but he knows more. Pezzy is over here. Pezzy would have been good to have in a previous draft too. Cookie God we already have. Della. Della, very lovely as well. Jack Black, duplicates. Misty duplicates. Or more so, we already have them. Rubber Ross we also already have. Sprain we already have. We're in a bit of an endless loop. Ross Cumber, though, is not somebody we've had before. Scott's Major, hey! Speaking of MCC, it was finally time for him to show up at one of these, you know? I feel like Scott's gonna be pretty easy to make a team for. Captain Puffy, potentially recent return to MCC, right, for Puffy. Purpled is a dupe. Shelby, I don't think we have had either. King Samalot is a very energetic character, you could say. Recently was in Streamer University. Feinberg we've already had, as much as he would probably be very useful for team balancing. H-Bomb has already been in. Elena has already been in the drafts as well. Jack Manifold we have not had before. Rev Scarecrow we have also not had before. Will be very good for pairing up with Vinny, because I know we pulled Vinny already. Jeremy has already been drafted. I think we have the other guy now, Kier. Preston's also due. I do think I have some people in the duplicate tier. Mumbo. Wow. In the duplicate tier that we had, like, drafted but not put in the actual team. So that might be a little bit of an oopsie, but whatever. It's mostly about, like, the conversation topic, right? I don't want to talk about the same people over and over, which is why I want to change things up. We're kind of in a loop again. Scar, very good to have Scar on the draft. Very, very useful in terms of the hermits. Maddie recently played MCC, of course. Very nice. Toma is a duplicate. We had Toma in one of the previous ones as well. Oppo we had in one of the recent ones. 4C we had in one of the recent ones. Bricky we've had in both of the recent ones. Seawat we had in one of the recent ones. Jimmy we have not had, I think. Jimmy Solidarity Gaming, we only need one more. Fyrus is unfortunately not on the list. And then Dr. Gluon is the last person to join the list for this event. What a fantastic roster we have on our hands here. Wow. Wow. Genuinely, wow. I have no words past wow. Let's set the foundation for some of these teams. We have Ludwig, we have QT, and we have Squeaks. That feels like a combination that has to happen in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna put that on pink. For now. No, because we're gonna use the MCC logic. This would be green. That's the MCC logic for you. That's green. Pink is it's gonna be Etho and Mumbo. And fruit berries. Actually, Misty might make more sense. Low-key? Yeah, because Misty knows Etho. So that actually makes more sense. Scar we pulled as well. I literally mentioned how Scar was a good pull. I can't not put him with that squad. Okay. Now what? Previously, I grabbed all the good players and put them on their own teams. I think Fruit we might want to put here, but how many good players do I have and how many do I need for these teams to make any sense? Oh wait, this is MCC, right? So those teams are now done. Interesting. Okay. So I mentioned how I wanted Rev with Vinny. In terms of how MCC in my opinion at least, works. I feel like Vinny Vinesauce would not be, depending on the roster. In this instance, though, I don't feel like Vinny Vinesauce would be given a hype team color slot. Spring is going to be like genuinely impossible to include in this roster, I think. Right? What connection does he have to anybody? He was on QSMP, but we got like nobody from QSMP pretty much, I think. Who does Spring know? I don't think I can put him in. I want to, but I don't think I can. It's genuinely cooked. I don't know what I would do. Interesting. Okay. Well, what does make sense? What does work? I mean, I mentioned Doki is like good to have. Doki can go with a lot of the VTubers, of course. Would Scott put them on like a hype color? I don't know. It depends on what the other teams look like. It very much depends. Also, as much as I would love to team myself with Sleepy here, I don't think we can do that. Realistically, I don't think that's balanced. Okay, well, we'll have to set up some form of foundation for like stronger players, right? Kyle would be a top frag. Kier and Speed Silver and I guess Haley would probably be a top frag here too. Cookie, maybe. Those are like the better and I mean Spoke would probably be like a good player, right? Spoke. Who would go with Spoke though? That makes things a little difficult. That is a little tricky. This was probably not the best idea to put everybody on their own separate thingy right now. Also, who am I putting with Ranboo? Yeah, I mean Ran and Saikuno, I think makes sense, right? But with who? Vinny. Wait, no, that's Sneak. Does Ran knows Vinny? I feel like there's a chance Ran and Vinny might know each other. Saikuno, I feel like, would know Vinny. Maybe Ran, Saikuno, Rev, and Vinny is a squad? Is that a combination we're running with? We might want to, honestly. Simple Flips actually knows this group too. But who would I put with Simple Flips for that to make sense? Misty would have made sense with Simple Flips. Hold on. Maybe we're not putting Misty with Etho and Mumbo. Maybe we're putting Misty there. I think as much as I love putting Misty with Mumbo and Etho, I think she's kind of needed for this team. This makes way more sense. That makes way more sense. Is there a high-end player that I can realistically put with them? I think Kyle F. Kyle knows Scar. Kyle would get along with Etho, and I don't see any reason why Mumbo and Kyle would clash. I think that's probably what you're gonna get there. As much as Kyle would be nice to have for like a funny, jokey team, I think he is very much capable of behaving himself and being on a team with the GOATs, of course. So that's probably 3 of the teams figured out for now, at least. I think probably. Now it gets interesting. Okay. None of the like top Jimmy and Cookie are familiar, right? That's something. They work together. Rainbow and Saikuno, I really still want to make something out of, but what? That's the question. Also, Scott, of course, has to be in this one. I think Scott's gonna go with Haley. We'll put Shelby there, and we'll give him. I was looking at Sasha for this one, probably, right? Ross could work there too. Maybe we put Ross. Modern day, I think we put Ross. Do I need Ross for any other team? I don't think so. So I think that's probably fine. Maddie there would have also been cool. Admittedly, Ross could go here. Maddie here would be fun. Right, because who am I putting with Jimmy, Cookie, and Ross. Cherry Fire feels like a pretty decent fit for some reason. I don't know why. Laguna actually makes sense. This is good. I like that. That's cool. I like that a lot. Then we have like, we can do like a popular Minecraft YouTuber team where we put, I saw Preston, Skeppy, Speed Silver. They're all gonna be familiar with each other. Rye Guy could go there. Is there like another Minecraft YouTuber that we could put there that would make sense? Not necessarily. That might actually not. That might be the flaw in our system. I mean, Mythical Sausage debatably could go there. But does he actually fit with that squad, or is that just like... Or Jimmy could go with... Nah, I like Jimmy on the team he's on right now. Cookie God would also have fit pretty well in that squad, but then who am I giving to Lagundo and Ross in them? Unless I take Mythical Sausage over here, I'd put Cookie and Jimmy over here. This makes this a pretty good team, but like that's fine, I think. Jimmy probably second frag. Now, of course, Laguna, Ross, and like Mythical Sausage isn't like the most straightforward combo. That doesn't really make much sense. If I'm being fully honest, that is kind of random as well. But we can take them out for now. I still need to figure out how to put Spreen in this roster. I think Spreen and Speed Silver have been in the same YouTube video before. I think. I'm fairly sure they've been in the same YouTube video before, but how am I gonna make that work at all? Is there anyone who I could realistically put with them? I don't think so. Because that was like a Purpled or Carl or something video, I think, if I remember correctly. Puffy feels like a decent approach for that, maybe. Jack Manifold, maybe. That's just such a mess. Like, what do I even do with that, man? There's no, like, Spanish-speaking people, I think, left either, right? Are there? I don't think so. Yeah. That's a problem. That is unfortunate. There are generally some people that I just want to put in, based off of popularity. I'll make a little tier above for said creators, so I can just kind of put it into perspective, right? So Rambu, Saikuno, Spiff, Ross, Doki, Cotton, Jack Manifolds, and then Michi, Haka, Pezzy's really popular. Spoke and Ross, I think, are like the main ones that I'm looking at right now of like, yeah, I feel like those people you would want to put in somehow. I don't know how you would make that make sense, but you should try. I think your best bet is Sleepy with or me. I mean, I forgot I'm there. Of course, I can be on a team. Right. How could I forget? How silly of me. I think you put Ross in over Maddie here for now. That just makes sense, right? Okay. I think you would grab... So, VTubers you couldn't all put together. Actually, wait. Ranbu, Saikuno, Cottontail there is kind of fucking awesome. I kind of love that. It's kind of funny. And then you give me Doki, Haka, and Michi. Doki, Haka I already team with, of course, so they all know each other. Michi is a bit more difficult. Though, then you have Ross. I don't know what you do with Ross. Because Ross knows some VTubers. I think Ross and Con would know each other. I think you're going to have to make a sacrifice to an extent to not include certain people. Ross might know Ranbu. I don't know why I think that, but I feel like they could. God. Who could I pair up with me, Doki, and Haka otherwise? Is there anyone that would make sense? I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I'm even putting with Speed Silver and Spreen. Like, that's already a fucking mess. Like, what am I doing with that? What am I doing with that, bro? Like, what? What? Like, what? What the hell? What the hell are we doing? Yeah, this is the hardest one. Can I tap into my backups of my dupes? I don't think so. I don't think I should. Does that even help? For like Sprain and Speedsilver, would I even benefit from tapping into the backups? I don't really think so. I mean, Coldy would be good for Sprain, but... And then Capitan Gato, right? Coldy and Gato would be good for Sprain, but then who the hell is my fourth there? Am I forcing someone to just learn Spanish, or what? Wait, Mythical Sausage speaks Spanish, right? Hold on. Wait a minute. That's like my only reason why I would put them there. So that's not like a great reason. Jaden might know Sprain because of QSMP. Nah, I'm not gonna tap into the backups. We're gonna have to figure something out for that somehow. Speedsilver and Sprain, like, well, fuck do I know? I'll put Mythical Sausage there just to have something. And then what? And then what? Like, how is that helping me at all? How is that Captain Puffy? I don't know. That doesn't really make sense, but it's like the best I can probably do with what I've got. Maybe Jack Manifold, but he doesn't know. He might actually know. He might know Speedsilver. I'll go with that. Whatever. That's not like great, but it's whatever. That is definitely red. That is definitely a red team if I've ever seen one. That is definitely red. Yeah, that's definitely red. I think some of the colors here would change, but we'll get to that later. Okay. And then I want to include Spiff, Ross, Spoke, and Pezzy. That definitely cannot happen all at the same time. There is literally zero way to connect everybody there. Even more so, I don't actually know if there's any way to connect these people. I think I might have to just bench some of them if I want to make any form of a cohesive team. I'll put Jack Parasite in. And Spiff, I think, would be a nice person to put with him. I think Ross there doesn't really... Ross knows Della. Hold on, Ross knows Della. We'll put Ross with Della. And then who would lead them? Who would lead their team? Who would lead it? I think Pyroscythe is a decent fit. I think we're putting... It appears we're going to put Spokus here with Kier. I think. Probably. Well, actually, hey, I have a clause. Kier wouldn't stream. So he's not playing. Laguna will put with this group over here or something. I don't know. That would be fine. It wouldn't be great, but it'd be fine. He'll have a good time. Spoke... What the fuck do I do with Spoke is here? I don't know. Does he even know anyone here? I don't know. I think Spoke's only connection would be like... Yeah, Spoke's connections would be on teams already. So, that is unfortunate. Unfortunate, really. I mean, he knows Kier. Probably, right? Pezzy there. Like, this doesn't make sense. As much as I'd like to do this, this doesn't make sense. Is there any way to make Spiff in this roster make sense with who I have left? No. Is there any way to make Pezzy make sense with who I have left? Like, maybe if I give him Michael McChill, and I don't even know if Michael and Pezzy would know each other. I doubt it. So I don't think either of them can be in this roster. And with the remaining people, I can make a more normal team. I'm just gonna have to put Spoke on there. Ryguy Rocky might be somebody that knows Spoke is here, or vice versa. And then we'll give him, like, who even makes sense combined together? Like, Gucky and Maddie, maybe, or something? I mean, Sasha and Gluon. Duh, of course. Sasha and Gluon. Okay, well, let's fix this, right? So, Sasha and Gluon are on a team together, so that's blue. So let's put that team to the blue spot. I like Misty's team being on Aqua. I think that's good. My team in Block Wars would definitely not be on purple. That's a very big team. But in MCC, that would be on purple, I think, or something like that. It feels like it would be not unlike an insanely hype color team, but it wouldn't be like a not hype team either. This might be like an orange or something. No, Scott's team would be orange, right? Yeah, no, maybe. This would be cyan instead of this team. This team wouldn't be yellow either, though. This screams like aqua. Maybe Misty's team wouldn't be aqua. Misty's team would be like lime. And then this would be like aqua. And then that's the colors, right? Oh no, this would have to be like yellow. Yeah, probably. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense, right? Probably. Is that what I would expect them to do with this? Probably. Something like that. Misty's team screams more yellow than the yellow team does. The yellow team doesn't feel very yellow. Yellow feels more lime than it feels yellow. I don't know why. It gives off more lime energy than yellow. We're gonna swap that. Does that feel better? That does make a little bit more sense. I did make a good call on putting Sleepy's team on aqua. That does feel more aqua. The Cookie God team feels more cyan. Yeah, I do agree with that. This feels correct. Now, this makes sense. This is it. That's it. I think. Yeah, probably. I mean, instinctively I'm saying put the Kylef team on cyan just because of Kyle and Scar, but you've got Mumbo. Mumbo would be on pink no matter what. There's no way they wouldn't put Mumbo on pink. And Ethos there too. So yeah. That's the draft. Those are the teams. I've done 3 of these back to back. I'm gonna not do another one because my voice might run out. So let me know your thoughts on these. It's quite interesting. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Goodbye.